you've jumped on too.
Yeah, man. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm still letting the intro build.
No problem.
What happened to you yesterday? You fell off the face of the earth?
Oh, man. We had so many meetings, right? And, like, I went to take a nap, and I just crashed. I woke up at, like, 2 in the morning. And I stayed up all day today. So today I made sure not to lay down before the call. You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's like I even had an alarm going off. Like, you know, I had it set up. We've been doing so much stuff, just burning the candle, you know, like, just like you are. But it's like, there's so many groups, and I feel like there's so many new people, the energy from all the different people, it just kind of pulls at you, you know. Because you're trying to settle people down and get people started and all types of stuff like that. Yeah. So it's a lot.
Yeah. Okay, well now, at least you made it on tonight. I appreciate that. You know,
oh man, I want to make sure. I'm so sorry I let you hang.
Yeah, it's all right. It's like I figured, oh, you want to go to a 5-day work week? I see what this is.
No chance, man. No chance.
Okay, here the intro's almost over. And hello, everyone. I'm Dan Lutz, and I'm here on the front lines with
Tank. Good evening.
And we're here fighting the cabal, the deep state, the Illuminati, and all those that wish to enslave all of humanity for their own selfish reasons. And we have a little slightly different intro today, but that's okay. How's it going, Tank? I'm glad you're back.
Yes, I do apologize. We have been burning the midnight oil and the early AM oil, and I went to close my eyes, and all of a sudden next thing I know, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I was like, oh no. So yeah, I just crashed out, man. We've been very excited. There's so many really amazing people coming on board to assist us with Lawful America.
That's amazing.
And I have some. I do have some intel.
Oh, excellent. From Kim. Excellent.
Yeah. So
I'm all
very
ears.
Interesting. I have mine. So yesterday, Kim, one of my seers, intuitives, told me that Tuesday was gonna be a big day, and that Kim was going to break through and make some people. So I said, okay, well, I told Kim that, right? So couple funny things, right? So first, something came up with Kim that she was talking about Bank of England and big transfers going on between Japan and Russia, right? Kim was like, well, Russia confirms that they will not be set up by the Yakuza and Kissinger. Right? So that is... Yeah, that's what they confirmed. And then she said, "Nice try, Rothschild. No one wants your fake super notes. It's not 1979." So that was her response. Really funny.
That's pretty good. I'll pass that back over to the Bank of England.
So then I asked her, if she was gonna break through. This was yesterday or was that today? Yesterday and today. I was asking her if she is going to break through. And she said she was like, literally, she had just sent testers out, right? And which means that she was sending test transfers to see if it cleared through, And when she did that, apparently the United Nations, the Bank of International Settlements, the Bank of England, one more time, and the United Nations were trying to trade or leverage something, right? And the agencies were in control working it out. So that got in the way. But that was a small thing. So and then I got some other intel that that the UN, the United Nations, is still offering all cash deals to people, right? Because they're trying to get rid of these super notes. And that I had a militia call yesterday, and they were saying that they're using Ripple, to trade internationally. And Kim basically said that's air-backed coin. So she was underwhelmed by Ripple.
So it's an air-backed coin. Well, this is let's just say, I always called this the banking coin, right? Or the Wall Street coin, because they designed themselves to work with the bank. Listen, the technology, the people behind it are real good people. I mean, in regards to like their talent. So when they announced it, and they went after that marketplace, right? Which I think is really, as a legitimate business move, why wouldn't you try and be in with the big boys, right? So I always liked Ripple, from the technology point of view. No mining required, which means you didn't need all this excess use of power and things like that. And they've been making big headways, but I don't know, what they would be, how they would be used, in an illicit way.
Because they're funding the banks, which are completely defunct, I would imagine, is the reason why. Because you could just plug that in there as a digital entry, and it means nothing because it's not backed, and it does nothing. You can't buy anything with it either, right? So it's like a placeholder for the banks. And then, to be quite honest, all these things, like on that level, like that are trading back forth in that realm, anything that they put there to try to leverage money, do this, Kissinger gets in there. I mean, it's amazing that Kissinger's still alive, right? And then it's like, and they get involved with all this stuff. And it's like, just for the love of God, somebody please take these people out, right? Like, just take them out. Like, kill them off. Because they don't want to be here, right? They don't want to be part of humanity. They want to be something above humanity. Take them off the planet. Like, let them go live on the moon, or, I'm sure there's a rock somewhere where they can swim around and they can be the boss. They can boss each other around. Be like Lord of the Flies, but Lord of the Rothschilds. So have fun.
Okay, all right. Well, anyway, interesting. Well, so anything else?
That was it for Kim.
All right. Well, how's Lawful America? What's going on? You got too many messages in the group, 800 plus. So I said, I don't want to look inside because I'll miss too much.
Oh my goodness. Let's see, we've had people come on from all over every direction. But I think I uncovered something that's pretty serious. I can't say definitively, right? But the big names are like Bobby Kennedy and Del Bigtree, right? And so now, we've got 9 different people advocating for Lawful America, telling Del Bigtree and Bobby Kennedy to talk to us. Mm-hmm. And they never responded. They went from they would immediately respond to them, so they wouldn't even respond. Now, I'm very familiar with that, right? That's a cabal tactic, right? They're nothing. They're acting like we don't exist, right?
Yeah.
That's
unperson you, nothing you. Yeah.
Yeah, because nothing else, right? And then I guess one of the lawyers responded and said that we're a scam. And he said it to the wrong person. So the person was like, they're a scam. They're like, they haven't asked us for anything. They've asked us to come on meetings. They built resources for us. Haven't asked us for one single thing. What are you talking about? What is the scam? Mm-hmm. Then the Big Tree came out and recommended, he said, I think what we're doing is working pretty good. I wouldn't go with Lawful America, right? And I'm like, it's working pretty good. You guys haven't won a single case. You haven't had a breakthrough. You haven't done anything. So after all this research, I realized, and the other thing is they're gathering people's information, right? Because they're trying to get the control group, right, allegedly, to present in the California court that, they have a control group of kids who've never been vaxxed, right? So they're gathering all that information. They're supposed to present that on one side, and then the other side would be like, look at the difference in their health, right? Which in theory sounds great. But it could also very easily be the way they identify the kids that haven't been vaccinated, mm-hmm. right? And then they target them,
right?
Which I'm very suspicious of. And then the next thing is they have absolutely no intention of winning. So I talked to one of the lawyers today that's working with ICANN, and we were going into it. And she said, well, I started bringing up, I said, I really want to know, why aren't you guys arguing the Constitution? I mean, it's very clear, right? The things that we laid out, they're very clear. And that the Constitution is the Supreme Court of the land, and it trumps all the other things. And then today in New York, they had this bill, right? And it's gonna give back the religious exemption to New Yorkers. That's what the bill proposes, right? And then I got it. I realized, oh, so if we take your religious exemption, now basically what you're doing is you're saying, I don't have the rights to do whatever the hell I want with my religion because I need your permission to do it.
Right.
Because they've attacked them. They've done this where they've told people their religions aren't legit. They don't count. Then the next one is not just that, but also, I also don't have the right to the care, custody, and control of my child. So I'm like, you guys realize what they're doing to you? I'm like, they have set you up so that if you go along with this bill, you support it, instead of actually going to change the law and really show it's a no law, they don't have the right to do this, then you're getting over your actual freedoms.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the lawyers are either complicit or ignorant,
Right. And probably both.
Complicitly ignorant, yeah, it's quite possible. I mean, Bobby Kennedy, I've heard him give some amazing speeches on the footsteps of courthouses and say great things, right?
Yeah.
And for the most part, I get the sense that he's a good guy, and he's but perhaps he's like just in a tough financial situation. I think Del Bigtree is his handler. That's my theory on it right now. It's just a theory. I know everyone's going to say you can't say that about they're the salt of the earth. Really? Have they won anything? What have they done for you? It's amazing. People are so loyal, accomplishing nothing. They're so happy just being in the fight. It's like people don't really want to win. They just want a reason why they did it. I don't feel that.
No, I don't think so. I really don't think that's it. I think that they just don't have many choices, and then a choice presents itself that they think is the right direction, and they go in 100%. And they want to believe that is the right direction, even though, as you said, if they're being led down the wrong road, whether they know it or not, maybe they've been tweaked at the edges, nudged this way, nudged that way. Even the leaders in the group could have been nudged different directions, took advice that actually, as you said, is setting them up for actually removing their rights, agreeing to the removal of their rights. All right, it's like okay, we'll give you back your religious exemption. So that means we can take it away and we can give it. So this is why they don't want to argue the Constitution, right? Because then it's about the inalienable rights that they can't take away and give.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, I was talking to this attorney, right? She went to UC Berkeley, which is one of the top law schools in the country, right? And I was asking her questions about the Constitution. And she said, she goes, yeah, but she said, jurisprudence doesn't work that way. I'm like, yes, it does. And I broke it down to her, and like, this is exactly what it says. But they don't use that, right? They don't use the part where it says no state can make a law. She would say, well, no, the statute says as long as it's,
The statute, you mean? What you mean statute? You mean like the McDonald's rules?
Exactly. I'm like, you mean the corporate bylaws that you're using to run our country with?
Yeah.
But even the lawyers don't know because they weren't trained in constitutional law.
Right. I know. So that's why they throw it back out them as a fast food franchise rules. That it starts like it'll jar them. So what are you talking about, right? So don't you understand? That's just a corporation, and it's their rules. It has nothing to do with the Constitution, which is the law. Are you going to argue the law, or you want to argue, McDonald's rules?
Right.
Right. And then what do they say? Where do they go from there? They want to deny it's a corporation? Well, no, they've admitted to it's a corporation. So what do you mean deny?
Well, I need your friend there, the lawyer you said is very successful in getting in, because we do have to go in to the court, not cross that line, and say outright, because the judges have to be put on trial. I mean, that's just the fact of the matter. Because they're guilty. You know, in New York, we have the evidence on this. So you had two big lawsuits. Coincidentally, they're both right there in my hometown, right? And these judges, old school conservative judges, right? And they obviously were threatened or intimidated, right? Because they presented a case, they run those lawsuits on the two kids that were hurt very badly by the vaccine. And they got them dead to rights. You know, they're trying to undo the lawsuit. All the evidence, the judges both admitted it. And then they still went the other way. He said, sorry, but the legislation spoke, right? Then suddenly, both those towns, right after those cases, after they ruled that way, they got $10 million grants from Cuomo. Doesn't that seem like odd coincidence?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much racketeering. And then we also know this directly from one of the people in the state assembly, I guess, that Cuomo was calling every single member of the Senate, intimidating them, telling them they better vote to like for the abortion bill, to call them to vote the MMR in. You know, it's mandatory. Because as soon as they did that, he set a precedent. He knew what he was doing. You know, he was setting a precedent. He can't claim ignorance. Like, I really thought the vaccines work. No, that's a lie. You know they don't. So, but it's amazing how much intel, you know, we got from some of these groups that went kind of like another way, right? They didn't go down the same path.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know
I'm watching it.
Yeah. So when these you know, when the trolls come out to basically, you know, go up against you, it means you're on the right road. Right. So it's a good sign. Hey, there's trolls all around. We must be on the right path.
If everybody loves you, right? If everybody loves you, you're not over the target. If there's no dissenting voice, it's because you're not saying anything that anybody cares about.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
And getting all the trolls to come out. Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, you're pushing out, you know, the right things that people can log on and say, listen, you know, how are we a scam, right? You know, what are we doing other than providing the information that everyone is upset about? So it must be the correct way. Oh, well. It means it's not long now. Well, you ready to switch some topics around here?
Yeah, man, jump it up. I'll follow you.
All right. Well, I watched the entire Q&A sessions today. So I went through 8 hours, you know, which turned out to be about 5 hours when you do it at 1.5 speed. So that's good. But the question and the question answer is very much more, I think, informative about where things are sitting, and I think that they're really pushing to take this into the witnessing side, and I still think that this is a setup. I think that they're going to go along with doing the witnesses. But I think it's a setup against the Democrats, right? I think they're making them push it so hard, and in the process, who is being revealed as in the Senate on the Republican side as the ones that are going to be the ones that we don't need in the Senate next time around.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right. So it's
exposing. No, I think your take on it's right. I think it's all set up to lead them down a path, and they're going to hammer it home because you can't stop the Republicans from bringing in witnesses now.
Yeah. Well, they're trying. No, that's exactly what they're trying to do.
How?
They're saying, "Oh yeah, we get our witnesses, you don't get theirs." That's what their offer is. And plus, these are witnesses that are obviously going to cause an issue where they have to claim executive privilege and go to court on, which will take weeks of time. And remember, while this is going on, the Senate can't do any other business.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So if they drag this on,
happen.
if they drag this on for 6 months, you know, or all the way up to the election, Senate can't do anything in that time.
You know, this timeline, we have to adjust it. Everyone focus on the timeline where this is over. Money comes in, and have to, people are just getting them moved by the Pentagon, right? By the military, because this is ridiculous. It's such an obvious overthrow of the government. You know, there's not even logical reasons to do what they're doing other than they're criminals. You know, I mean, Adam Schiff, he's been busted. He had 3 lies, major lies, right? But he wasn't under oath. Put him under oath.
No, he's under oath. In the Senate, he's under oath. Sekulow called him out and say, if you want those witnesses, I'm calling Adam Schiff. I'm calling Nadler. I'm calling the whistleblower. I'm calling the people that talked to the whistleblower in the White House, right? The informants. He didn't say informants, but that's what we know.
All the pomp and circumstance will just fade. Like, let Jim Jordan go Spanish Inquisition on Nadler and Schiff. Oh my gosh, I will up my donations by 1,000% if you please do that. I mean, they're currently at 0, but still.
I'll go 10,000.
Exactly, 10,000%. I mean, it's just such a. I mean, I don't know how anybody. Think about it, when it comes to the leadership of our country, right? If you were to compare like the MVPs of both sides right now, right? If you were to take Matt Gaetz, you know, Jim Jordan, some of the other guys, the Republicans have done a great job. I mean, you got the other side, you got Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. I mean, it's a train wreck.
It is.
I mean,
Nadler can't even form sentences now. Really, he can't. He came up a couple times. He's stumbling through when he's trying to represent his, you know, his rebuttal or the answer to the question. Yeah, I don't even think he should come up anymore. He looks so horrible. But you know, Shifty Schiff is still out there, you know, laying down such. I mean, I want to throw up when I hear what he's saying. You know, it's everything is like a complete opposite of what it should be. I mean, the guy is a sick puppy. Right? To be able to, he is a perfect liar.
You know, there's something about the way he speaks. I mean, just his whole presentation, right? It's like, did you see just what happened the other night on CNN? And the guy Lemon, right? The one guy, I don't know who it was, right? I mean, he looked rough, right? And he was saying, he said, President Trump wouldn't know where the Ukraine was on a map if you put a big letter U and a picture of a crane there, right? And Lemon just fell out laughing. It was so obnoxious.
Oh yeah,
right?
I saw it, right? And I saw it 5 times, right? Because they kept going. It kept going over on my playlist, right? Coming through.
Yeah.
And I think it's just so obvious, right, that they are. They're so disrespectful to everyone else. I think they really feel that no one is watching them, and that it was like what they say when they're off camera. Because their audience is so small, the only ones left are the ones in with them, right? So that now it's such an intimate affair that they can talk that way. You know what I'm saying?
The one, yeah. I see what you're saying. I mean, I actually think it's more than that. I think that they have been untouchable for so long, and they're so arrogant and so misinformed that they just don't care. So their contempt for the American people is what's coming out. they're mocking half the country because they follow Trump. Meanwhile, what have you losers done? They haven't accomplished anything, right? Lenin was, famous for saying something like, the problem in this country is the biggest terrorist threat is white men. Meanwhile, he's engaged to a white guy. You can't even believe a word he said, right? The other guy was using a southern accent to portray ignorance. The only one that looked ignorant was him. How dare he do that? They are in contempt of the American people. And, that is what, I don't think it's an actual thing, but I'm going to try to introduce that somewhere in the midst of this case. That these people are in contempt of the people, right? They think that they're above us. They think that they're better than we are. They think that they're the ruling elite and we are worthless peasants, right? And at the end of the day, I'll be a peasant with integrity and kick your ass in any category, literally anything they do. I feel like I can do anything they do. I can do better. Anything. And the fact that they talk down to all of our people. This is our people, right? This is us on the ground. Our families, our kids, that they're talking about as they poison us, as they force vaccinate us, as they poison the water, poison the air, poison the food, denying us simple things like allowing money to come into our accounts. What is it that makes them above us? They've been able to control money. Oh, I'm so sick of that. I mean, these guys, how they can walk around thinking that they're exceptional is amazing. They are married to mediocrity. They've accomplished nothing. They aspire to do nothing but commit genocide. It's so ridiculous. It's disgusting. I can't even hardly think of a proper ban against. I've been seeing more and more about what is the way to get through to the crowds of people who claim that if you that's non-scientific. Are you so ignorant? There's no studies to back up what you're doing. But because all the news channels repeat it, that's what people base it on? I mean, these are our kids. The ignorance, I have never seen ignorance so thick and so dark that it is actually scary that you could stand that arrogantly in the midst of it. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm actually looking for this stammering that Schumer did yesterday. It was pretty historical, but I can't find it. That was interesting.
I really think that what has happened is they have pressed the bounds so much that it really gets down to if you continue on this course. Because, real intelligence, it's an amazing thing because real intelligence will allow you to weigh facts. And even when you don't want something to be true, when you're looking at the facts, you can change course because you're like, wow, I was wrong, right? And that's not easy to do, right? Because you have to, real intelligence has to be coupled with integrity, right? Because if not, you're just using big words and accomplishing nothing.
Right.
And I really this point is like Chuck Schumer to get up and be like waxing poetic about how moving Adam Schiff's speech was. Are you guys kidding? I mean, do you really believe that?
And really, I heard from other people that are in these interviews and stuff. They're basically saying the same thing. It turns their stomach. It's literally hard to watch. So remarkable.
I've never seen anything like it, and to me, it's like the universe is giving every single person a chance to come on board. Like, okay, look, it's not about being a Democrat or a Republican. It's about being a human. Because at the end of the day, their behavior is is like like rich bullies that you see in a movie. You can hardly, like, I realize, I'm like, oh my gosh, these, hyperbolic characters that you see in movies that you're like, you kind of let go in your mind, like nobody really exists that way, right? Like, you just don't think it's real. But I'm watching it, they do exist. This is them. You're seeing it in the political, stage. You're seeing, the jackasses in Hollywood, all with their self-righteous indignation about what? Because they're so mad that someone's calling them out for being pedophiles, perverts, and rapists. Like, you're actors. That's all you are. You're not exceptional. Why do we exalt actors over all the other art forms? Like, please. Like, you pretend to be someone else. That's your job. You're doing it right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to give up on looking. I'm going to give up on this little task anyway. But it's pretty remarkable, maybe I'll find it. Maybe it'll be posted in one of our groups if someone else can find it. And he literally, like, he's losing it. It looks like to me. He was going.
Wait, no, who is that? Who are you talking about?
Schumer.
Oh, Schumer.
Chuck Schumer. Yeah.
Yes.
He closed his eyes and it was like he was on tilt or something, and ringing up the point, ding, 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 ding. And went on for, I don't know, 5 seconds where he was off. Right. So it's like his brain. Maybe he's having also adrenochrome withdrawal.
Oh, you know what? I do have some interesting developments here. Hang on, I forgot about this. So, you remember a ways back there was that show with I don't know what it's called. It's with Ken Dunn and his co-host there.
I never watched too much of that, but on occasion.
No, I never watched it, but I've got people to do. Yeah. And this Ken Dunn was saying that I was an idiot, and what else did he say? So I'd been deceived, Kim was evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and basically, long story short, his co-host, who is clearly significantly better informed than he is, she came out, I don't know, yesterday or the day before, and she repeated all of our info. She said the new Kim system, the key integrated monetary system. Talked all about it, how it shut down the Federal Reserve, how it stopped the cryptocurrency, everything we've been reporting on. Now, she didn't acknowledge us, right? But she reported it all. It said it's all facts. It's all happened. And then she even, later on, talked about she called it the quantum financial system because they were trying to lay claim. We're the first ones to talk about it. No, you're not. It's a quantum system, mapping system, not a financial system. It just happens to control the finances as well.
Right.
But whatever. And you guys are more than welcome to interview me, if you want the truth. Because clearly, if you actually cared about getting out the truth, you would have talked to us months ago. But instead, you had Ken Dunn ranting and raving instead. But now they came out and admitted the whole thing. They admit it's all true.
Well, excellent. We're making headway.
Yeah. And Benjamin Fulford, he gave credit to a man rather than Kim, but he basically described the same thing.
Did he call it Kim's?
He didn't call it Kim's, no, but he did describe it. He did describe the Kim system, yeah. So that's definitely progress, right? Because those are people that get some, pretty high level cabal info, Yeah. So it must be the cabals admitting, hey, we're going to be using this, right?
Yeah, we're going to use the Kim system. It's ours. And like Langley said, right? Then Kim said, well, thanks for naming it after us. Well, after me, rather. But Kim.
The only, this extended waiting period, right, which is just destroying people, right? And now they protect. The only thing they know how to do, is to delay. Right? Lawyers. This law group, right? Now, the CDC said in 2020 they're going to remove all exemptions. They've determined that the state health departments must remove all exemptions. Now, the question that everybody should be asking, What authority does the CDC have to dictate to the state health departments what they're going to do?
Well, they
Right?
have the authority given to them by all of Hollywood in the movies that they put out.
Right. I forgot. Hollywood.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro is the president of Do Nothing and, complain often.
Well, I mean, all these movies, they have the authority. They present a
Right.
reality, and people say, "Oh, well, they have the authority because we've seen it in the movies."
Yep. I know. Yeah. Don't worry. The CDC is here. Right? Thank goodness. Thank goodness. It's the Center for Disease Control. How do you control disease? Well, you make sure that you release it in certain areas, and you allow it to grow at just the right rate.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Yeah, this whole thing. So what do? You have they have a study, right? And so I talked to the lawyer today, one of the lawyers from my camp, and Del Bigtree crew, and I'm sure they don't know. Del Bigtree doesn't know she's talking to me, right? And she said outright, well, you have to gather all the evidence. So they're doing their own study, gathering all this information. And she said, by the end of the year, we hope to present it. I said, of course you do. That was probably the bull set view by the heads who know what's going on. And they know by the end of the year, all exemptions will be removed anyways. Think of all the kids that will die between now and then because they're on doing the vaccine.
Right.
This should be ended immediately. If we can't end something simple like you're putting poison in our children, we can't stop that. It
Right.
is pathetic.
Yep. Yeah, and they keep rolling with this. Even that doctor at the United Nations, right? When they're just admitting that they don't have the tests and they don't have. So when people are coming up against them on that, they don't have a leg to stand on, right? They're admitting it, right? But they're not stopping, right? They say, well, yeah, well, there's people that die, and they admit to all of it, right? And but it's like, where's the comparison studies that say, oh, well, would there be more people alive or less people alive with or without the vaccines? Oh, you mean we're actually killing off the populations, and that is actually the agenda to sterilize the
Right.
populations of the planet,
So
to reduce the population.
you're absolutely right, Dan. I agree. So that was exactly what I said to the lawyer. I said, so you think after they've ignored their own study that they've only grabbed 1% of the vaccine injuries? They've ignored it. They've ignored the fact that there's no studies. They didn't even try to do them to even make safer, more effective vaccines. They didn't try. They didn't even try. They're so confident that they could scam all of us, they didn't even try or pretend to try.
Right.
That's amazing, isn't it? That's amazing to me. So now you think because you do a study, they're going to have to consider it? Why? They've already established. We don't care.
Right.
We did our own studies. We ignored them, and then we just didn't do studies. So you can do whatever you want. They're just stalling. So I'm kind of convinced that that the ICANN group is supposed to be like the savior of the vaccine world. The fact that they're telling them to stay away from us, who's arguing the Constitution, the fundamental rights of the people, the things guaranteed.
So then they must be the controlled opposition.
I do think they actually are controlled opposition. Yeah.
That's how they control the situation, right? They get the people all that are riled up against it all under one banner, and then they allow them to just kind of get drug along for the delay, right? Oh, we're working on this. Yeah, we're working on it. You don't need to do anything because we're working on it. Don't look at the Constitution as a way to stop this immediately.
Right, but that is what the law says. Now, and then I got contacted by this militia group, right, which is all over the country, right? And they've got their own military tribunals and militia, and they've got their own grand jury. It all sounds great, right? And they want our information. Let us know what your resources are, what your issues are, things like that, right? I'm like, no, I don't think so. Because I don't know who you are, right?
Right.
I don't know who you are. Like, I don't know what you're asking me to do. And then on top of it, it's like, for all I know, like the way this guy was talking, he goes, we don't need money, we got guns. That's what he said. I'm like, that's mentality. I feel like that gets us in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So
you need to have money. You need to have money and guns.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now, I'm for people having guns. Don't get me wrong. I'm for people having guns. I'm just saying, like, the way he was talking, it's like, you're talking about a civil war, because you have at least 50 jihadist military base camps, one in every state, where they're training everybody, the men, women, and children to fight. You've got Blackwater, which is the largest type of military in the world. They match the size of the U.S. military. Okay, you've got the United Nations military, which this guy told me not to worry about because they're only 90,000 total. They don't have 10,000 troops on U.S. soil, right? He said the Virginia militia could handle them by themselves. And I'm like, I don't think you understand the scope of the United Nations, because there's also the NATO, and they can storm this whole country from all angles. They've been setting up military bases underground for years. They have military equipment here all over, which has probably been disabled. But if it wasn't for Kim doing that stuff, you're talking about heavy artillery against guys with guns, or shotguns and pistols. I'm sure they got lots of semi-automatic whatever, but it's still not going to do much in the face of a military attack vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But then I realized, like, I can't be part of what this guy's saying, right? Because that's going to spark a civil war, which I've already, had people who wanted to go do covert ops, different groups that I knew. Which, by the way, I'm not against that if it's done the right way and it's done lawfully, right? And there's a need for it, and we can do it. But it's like, it's amazing. They're just trying to find any way to stimulate and spark a war. And if there's a war, what will happen is all the side effects, the casualties of war in this country will be catastrophic. If the UN and the Order of the Black Sun and the Islamic Brotherhood and the Blackwater were all fighting each other, right? Because they're vying for control. Like, one is the Rothschild, the NATO forces in the UN, and then the other side is the Obama League of Assassins, Order of the Black Sun, the jihadist Islamic Brotherhood. They're all here. They fight each other. Like, who do you think gets killed off? I mean, not even just killed off. Remember, genocide is, there's many aspects of genocide. And one of the things that happens is they would rape the women and get them pregnant with a child of their enemy. Right? Like, that's the kind of ruthless practice that happens during genocide. And we are very much, like, staving off genocide, which I'm very confident we will. But I still feel the need to make sure that we realize what's at stake, right? And staying this course of ignorance and doing nothing, right? Maintaining the status quo. In these groups with vaccines in New York, these women and men parents have done all this great work, and they've accomplished nothing. They've changed not one law, nothing. The state legislature in New York, Republicans told the parents, they said, we have never had this much consistent outcry and protest on any issue in the history of New York, ever. And yet, they've shut the doors in their face and stand outside, locked them out of courtrooms. They've passed laws without even having a public hearing.
Right.
They look at us with utter disrespect, disdain, and disgust. And I'll tell you something, we should look at them exactly the same way, because they are disgusting. They are anti-human, implementing a criminally organized agenda to commit genocide against everybody in the world. It's amazing.
And they're so proud of it.
So proud. It is great. And they still have a platform to display their arrogance and ignorance in front of everyone. I'm like, I don't know how it doesn't get violent. And I'm not an advocate for violence. I'm not. Because I know, it doesn't matter how many guns you have. You can't stop all this. The tertiary damage will be so terrible. It will be so terrible. You'll have women and children and men killed. All types of people killed. They aren't even in the fight. They're just trying to stay safe. You have people's houses being broken into, and everybody getting killed as they fire out the windows against their enemies. Like civil war in this case would be catastrophic.
The war destroys. It's what happens. So whatever was built up gets destroyed. Maybe down to 25% of whatever there was on both sides, whatever. It destroys. You don't want to go to war. What you want to do is basically maneuver everything into a position where they just don't want to even fight. Right? And you win on the mental side, right? The hearts and minds. And that way that you never have to lift up the gun, right? You can own it, right? But if we move forward, and if this part of this great awakening is to eliminate the battle inside as a civil war, fighting in the streets, door to door, and having all these forces coming in and trying to dismantle everything. So I'm sure we're going to we've already passed what now they have plans to keep making this happen. I don't know what's going on with the coronavirus. I don't know how much of it is real, regarding what the news media is putting out there. It may be all just hype, all to get people to, I'll take the vaccine, because they said, it's going to take us 3 months. So now 3 months from now they're going to be coming out with this coronavirus vaccine, and it's going to be something that's going to be really horrific to take, right? Because we know, so how now you have to avoid it. Now they're going to want to force it, right? So they're going to cause an armed conflict with the people, right? And they're going to say, but why wouldn't you take it? Look what it's doing. Is it really happening? All right, where are all these cases? They're all in China. I mean, I saw these horrific maps about, it's all enveloped all of China. And we can't listen to what China says because they lie about everything. That's the word coming out.
Right. Yes. Well, according to Ken Dunn, which this is something that Ken has told me has been done, so this could be true. But the coronavirus has been geoengineered to be selectively binding to reptilians, I guess. So it's actually working against them. Which, by the way, that actually could be true because I know Kim told me that was done. But I don't know what that pertains to. I know she talked about biological weapons. I don't know if she was talking about the coronavirus or.
All right, so you get the so what happens is you take the vaccine so that you don't die from the coronavirus, but then the coronavirus hits you, right? And you now have some reptilian DNA. It activates it, increases it, and now you become a winged reptile.
Oh my gosh, that is genius. Yeah, you're right, man.
There you go. Of course, I'm stretching a little bit, but we don't know.
Yeah, but
we don't know what they might have engineered this to do. I mean, as when I saw like on the first story that came up about the coronavirus, immediately, well, here's the Gates Foundation, their studies on it, and here's their cure. They have the cure, and they have the disease, and it's patented by them. So they want to make money, is what this is all about. I think Bill Gates could never really accept that IKEA, the guy that made IKEA furniture store, was the wealthiest man in the world when he was, the head of Microsoft, right? And he was up there. But the guy at IKEA, the furniture store, was ahead of him. So he had to show up the Joneses.
Yeah.
He had to make something else. So, I'm going to destroy all the people on the planet. There. Nah.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I've never ever been a fan of Bill Gates and Microsoft from the very beginning. Anything that they made was stolen technologies, and they use their predatory practices to really stop real innovation. And if anything real came out, they stole it, or they sabotaged the market. Time and time and time and time and time again.
Yeah, that's the MO, right? Maintain status quo, absolute maximum mediocrity. Not too much, not too little, just right.
Just like, not quite enough.
Yeah, never quite enough to do anything profound. Yeah. Just enough to let you know that we're doing profound things that you can't see, right?
Yeah. Oh, I remember when I was so anti-PC in general, right? And I had to get a PC for this software testing and things like that. And you end up using it on occasion for I need to write a letter, those kind of things, right? And so you end up and still that system would come down with viruses and whatever, and I find myself once or twice a year having to deal with taking the system down, rebooting, or, going back and loading the backups and all this kind of stuff, wasting time, right?
Well, such a waste of time.
And it's never once happened on the Apple system. Never once, not one time did the system get affected by viruses, and I had to go, I got to reboot everything and do everything all over, and then battle the systems. Yeah, listen, I used to get paid a lot of money when I was in my mid-20s, and then I had a computer repair facility. I had like 6 technicians working for me, repairing systems. People bring in, I've got a virus. All right.
Jeepers.
Yeah, so it was like $100. That's $150.
Yeah. Good money back then. Yeah.
Yeah, good money back then. Oh yeah.
Sure.
That was 2 hours of work, and $75 an hour.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. So, I have my own opinion about this, and but I have no exact plans from Kim as far as how she'll do it. But I have not broken from the way I feel about what I think. If you were to ask me, I've learned a lot over the past year, but my thought process has not changed. If you want governments that draw their power from the governed, then you have to give the governed the opportunity to set up their own committee, their own council, or whatever, so that we can dictate which one of these groups gets paid. For example, why is there federal grants that pay child protective services to traffic children? I mean, think about it. This is tax money we pay, right? Jobs that we work for. We all pay jobs, everything in our life. I mean, at the end of the day, this is just, if you're going to boil it down, is there anything in your life that has ever motivated you more to work, to perform, to be a better man, to be a better woman, to be a productive human being, right, in society, to stop you from doing something stupid, you go to jail? Is there anything more than your own children? Nothing. There's nothing. You don't even have something that's a close second. Nothing. Yeah. Now that's the case, and so in that we accept a lot, right? In that, because we'll do anything for our kids, right? Mm-hmm. We'll do anything for our kids because we'll accept a lot. We're willing to pay 35% of our paycheck to back to the government, so that our kids are safe. We're willing to pay obscene sales tax, and we're willing to be forced to pay certain insurance just so we know we have insurance for our kids. We'll do anything. They've taken all that good faith and they use it against us. They use it to target people that they think will be quiet. They use it to target anyone for any reason they can find. They're taking people because they don't vaccinate. They're taking kids from families because they don't vaccinate. And we know that vaccinations are poison. They're taking kids from people's homes because they didn't have enough money on their school lunch account. They're taking kids from people's homes because their house is too messy. You know, it's like, my God, how do we let it get this far? I mean, there needs to be a complete overhaul of
Yes.
every one of these systems. And
Well, I think I would. One of the things I think is very important also is on the financial side, right? The money system. I think it has to be not corruptible as it is right now, right? And so I also believe in privacy. So we have to be able to allow people to hold their wealth, move it the way they want, and not have someone decide that they can now just see anything anytime they want. Oh, you've got extra there. Maybe I'll send my team over to get you to cough it up. All right, and then so you need to have privacy and be able to do these things. So that's, I think, a very important base element of this. I mean, it's covered like in our Constitution is about the gold being the only form of money, right? And so this is important, to realize that we have to have something that is reliable and that they just can't keep changing just because.
Yep. Stephen Greer, who does like the alien disclosure
Sure.
movies.
Oh yeah, I love Stephen Greer. He's great.
Yeah, I like him too. And he was talking about this, right? He was saying everything has to be done, and I totally agree with this, right? And this is exactly what I've been saying. Everything. He says there is no place to hide because we can't build free energy generators in private. We can't have all this amazing healing technology, have it built in private. You need to have it wide open in public for everyone, broadcast it to the entire world. So every step of the way, they want you to do it from scratch to production, and everyone can see, and it works. Right? And you saw them do it from beginning to end, and then you put it out, and you have the whole process. You put everything, because the one thing they don't want to admit. They'll do anything to maintain the image, because they recognize the collective consciousness is what controls our reality.
Right.
So they don't want to be the bad guys, even though they are the bad guys, right? And they love it. They can talk to us any way they want, do whatever they want, and they love that. That's their dream come true. They don't want to give up their elite status.
Right.
And I do
they're
think
legends in their own mind.
That has to happen.
They're legends in their own mind.
Yeah.
And that's where they can keep their reality. They can go into a virtual reality. They want to be plugged in and be the masters.
Right.
So they can do it all in a virtual game.
So, I'm still looking. The Universal Council said all the stuff, like I said the other day. The one thing they said that stood out to me, because I replay these things in my head all over again, because like over time, as you like read a document, you might go through it and get a lot out of it, right? But there's usually something that you take away that will always sticks with you, right? And the one thing they said is the darkness cannot survive in the presence of the light.
Right.
So the only thing to do is to shine.
Yeah.
So everybody ought to just be thinking like, whatever your best is, now's the time to show it. Whatever you've got left, put it on the field.
Yeah. And the reason why the darkness will always lose is because the darkness's secret desire is to be in the light.
Oh yeah.
Right? They want to come out and say, "Oh, we're your masters, and you do what we say." Right? They want to come out and say it to your face, and you comply. They want the whole world to be that way. But when they do that, they've exposed themselves. They brought themselves out to the light, and then they burst into flames by the sun, like a vampire, right? Because they have this desire. So this is why they will always lose.
Yeah, I realize that part of this is the same way that I feel, like I feel about them. I'm disgusted that I have to pander, that I have to do anything, to jump through hoops, to get certifications for things that don't matter, to get licenses that aren't legal, aren't lawful, to go through all these hoops just to do basic things. We can't bring basic money in. Basic it's money just to to help rebuild out of Florida or to help the people of Paradise, California recover.
Right.
I mean, that's basic human decency stuff. You know what I mean? We can't do that. They won't let that money come in, and the whole government is silent. No, the government should be losing their damn minds.
Right.
Like what we've become. Everybody should be freaking out. I mean, everybody doesn't know, right? But anybody who knows should be losing their mind publicly on television. It should look like they're going insane. I feel better. I feel better if I saw more people freaking out about something that mattered versus being completely indifferent, turning the other cheek as people, they know so and so is a pedophile, because there's a special fund to settle the sexual misconduct of Congress.
Right.
That's been paid out repeatedly, right? But we can't get basic money in to help people, build a home. That is so far beyond tragic, and it's not enough to just sit back and talk about it, around dinner about how corrupt everything is, how bad. It's like we're just perpetuating the same garbage. The awareness movement is over. This is time. This is the action movement. Now is the time to act decisively. Now is the time to organize in every possible way, militias, in every way for the people to stand up and realize you have a force that is here, that is still trying to kill you. And this applies to every single, hack sitting in a government seat somewhere who wants to continue to ignore this. Like, no, that's ridiculous. You're a conspiracy theory. You're a freaking willfully ignorant, negligent leader. And I wouldn't even, that word I wouldn't even put there. I don't even know what other word to put in there. You're willfully ignorant and criminally negligent as you sit in a seat knowing how simple it would be to beat these people. You sit there cowering in fear that they're going to do what? They haven't brought in money in 9 years. It's
Right.
amazing. It's just amazing stuff.
It is, and people still are waiting. So anyway, I'm gonna definitely try and look into what you were just saying about the Yakuza and who was it? Who did you say was working with Kissinger?
The Yakuza and Kissinger making a deal, making it great.
Okay.
So I don't know. That's all I got. Is I'm a blue to kick I don't know exactly what it means.
Well, that's interesting to figure it out, though. But Yakuza and Kissinger trying to make them an offer. They're sending them cash that they can't touch.
Yeah. They're moving, fake super notes, and Putin's already released his whole deep state parliament, right?
Right.
Because they didn't bring him in again. Now, they've got to be on board at some level. I mean, Japan probably is on board as well. Because there's a good group somewhere in there, I'm sure. And, the more countries that are working, it's going to easier it makes it. I think it still has to come into the United States first. And that's why Trump was at Davos, speaking so, optimistically about the amazing things that are about to happen. Right.
Right.
I still feel this way. Put up or shut up. Like, this is not brain surgery. Open the pathway so money can move to the people. And every single one of these cowards in the middle who've done nothing but try to block it, as one woman has completely annihilated them. Just submit. So ridiculous. What are they even holding on to? Obviously, they haven't even come close to hacking the system, not once. They've never even broken through the first firewall. It's amazing. Best hackers in the world. I mean, him disintegrated what was supposed to be the answer to everyone's prayers that was being held in, I forget where. not Prague or
Uruguay.
like that.
Uruguay.
Paraguay. Yeah, Paraguay. Thank
Is
you.
it Paraguay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Paraguay or
Being held
Uruguay?
in Paraguay, it's like this magical system that was going to change everything. Kingdom of Manna was like, the decree of King Michael Uriel, the king of nothing, because he has no power whatsoever. It's like, dude, I'm as much of a king as you are. I guess maybe that's all we have to do. We just got to send out notice like that, man. The Honorable Dan Lutz.
His Majesty, if you please.
Thank the king of get shit done. And it's like, sorry. Well,
You know what? When you said that, there was this commercial that would play with these guys in LA, right? And it was Paul, the king of big screens, right? And he'd wear this big crown, right? So when you said that, I imagined like you on, doing the, with the big crown and that same kind of like, and get shit done.
Get shit done. Yeah, I mean, it's like, how are they all still playing this game? Like, it just seems so embarrassing to me. It's like, guys,
it's their life.
Like, the girls are watching. Stop.
It's their life. I mean, this is all that they've known, right? And they've been brought up in this. They were trained in this, and it's from the time they were young. In fact, they were moved into other people's families. They're all in this other world. So this is complete Alice in Wonderland for them, right? They've stepped through the looking glass, realizing that they were actually on the other side of the looking glass from the beginning.
Yeah. Oh man. So, anyways, I'm appropriately annoyed. I'm feeling good about it. If I know some people get mad and it's a really hard state for them. I'm pretty comfortable with my anger about this. I'm okay with it. Like, I actually wish more people were mad. I wish more people were disgusted. Everybody's fighting against the deep state and misdirecting their energy. They need to be fighting against apathy and indifference. Realize that posting something on Twitter isn't doing anything.
Yep. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Actually, why don't you hang on the line for a minute? We'll end this and then we'll have a chat. Just hang on for a minute. All right.
I'm here. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.